Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you for joining me today. Today we are going to be creating a oval tabletop with a under bevel using Aspire 12.0. And this is my first 2.5D slash 3D carving. So I just wanted to take you along this journey with me, and I want to show you how I made this profile and then take you through the process of actually cutting it on the CNC. All right, so first step is to create an oval. We're doing a 40 by 60 oval. Once that is created, we're going to click and drag it up to our workpiece, and then we're going to move to offset it. So we're going to offset it inside to inside offset by 2 inches. And what that is going to allow us to do is create a molding profile to be able to follow these lines to make this under bevel. All right, so my workpiece is 1.5 inches thick, and I want to make an under bevel that is 2 inches wide by 1 inches thick, and that will leave me with a 1/2 inch lip on the edge of my tabletop. So what I'm doing here is creating a rectangle that is 2 inches wide and 1 inches high, and then I'm going to draw a line from corner to corner to create the angle that I want for the bevel. Now I'm going to use the trimming tool, these little scissors right here, to clip away the excess of the rectangle that I don't need anymore. And I must say right here that this is the wrong way. I drew the line in the opposite direction, and that does matter which way that line is going in order to create the bevel on the right side of the tabletop. So you'll see here once we create this molding path that it's going to make a molding the wrong direction, and then I'll go back and show you the right direction. So we're using the molding toolpath to be able to do this. And the way you do this is you click the inner circle and you hold the shift button, and then you click your line that you made for your angle, and then that is going to use the molding toolpath to create the bevel that you want on the bottom side of the tabletop. Now we're going to select our tool that we're going to use inside of our toolpath, which is going to be a 1/2 inch ball nose end mill. And I'm changing the RPMs to 18,000 and the feeds and speeds down to my desired feed rate. And then I'm going to use a 1/2 inch end mill for a clearing toolpath, and I'm also going to change those feeds and speed rates because I am cutting through walnut, a hardwood, and I don't want the same speeds as I use when I'm cutting through plywood. I want to slow that down a little bit so that it's not as much tension on these bits. I don't want to break a bit, and I want a clean cut. All right, so now we're going to go through the preview, and this is a good tool to show you whether or not your design and the ways you did everything is the correct way or not before going to your actual workpiece. And it's a good feature because I definitely did it wrong. And so right now this is going to show me that I did it wrong. But before I show you that I did it wrong, we're going to go ahead and create a outside edge profile to cut out the outside edge so we can see how we actually cut the workpiece in this rendering. And when I do my outside edges, as long as there is a hardwood piece that I'm cutting and not like plywood, and I'm not using my vacuum table, I'm going to put tabs on so that the workpiece doesn't shift or move on the final pass cutting through the material. So that's what you see me doing here now. And then we're going to click the tabs, and then we're going to add 4 tabs on there. Once we like that aligning, then we say OK. And then we're going to go down and click ramp in, and I always set my ramp in to about 1 inch. This allows it not to just plunge straight down and leave heavy dark burning marks because the blade is spinning in one spot and not moving. So we're going to click OK, and now we're going to preview that, hit play, and this is going to show us that we did it wrong. So now we can see which direction that we did it in, and that will allow us to know that we need to go back and fix our profile so we can get the correct rendering and make sure that we're all good to go on the actual process. And now you can see that the bevel went in the wrong direction. Instead of going from the inside of the table to the outside of the table, it went from the outside of the table to the inside of the table. So let's go fix that. Let's go back to our 2D view, and let's get rid of these profiles as well. Let's go back to our 2D view and make that little rectangle again, and then draw the line the opposite direction. So basically just click that box again, scroll down, create a line, and we go from the opposite corner to the bottom corner, and then we'll clip away again like so. And now we're going to use this line to repeat the process and create our molding profile. And so while we're deleting these old profiles, the wrong ones, I just want to give a shout out to Kelly Martin at Martin Woodworks 13, because as you know, I told you in the beginning of this video, this is my first 3D profile on Aspire, and he took the time to show me how to do this, and now I am taking the time to show you guys what I have learned from him and doing so. So now we're going to click our inner circle and our shift button again to basically create this molding profile. And without him showing me this, I never would have figured out how to do this on my own. So I just want to say thank you to Kelly for showing me how to do this. So basically we click our inner circle, we click shift, and at the same time then click the correct angle there, and now we can create our profile again and try and see if we got it right this time. So we're going to calculate, reset our preview button, and preview it again. Let that run through, and it looks like it is creating the bevel on the correct side this time. So this is what we want to see. So now we're going to be able to do the outside profile cut to cut all the way through. You'll see our tabs are there, and then now we should be able to rotate this and look at it in a way that we can see that we got the bevel going in the right direction. Yes, now it's time to cut the real piece. Well, let's. And so I decided not to cut the actual piece first. I wanted to make sure that I did this correctly, so I went out and bought a sheet of $50 1.5 inch foam as a practice piece to make sure that I got this, because I did not want to cut into $1,000 of black walnut that I had just finished milling and gluing up.
Yeah, I got it right, y'all. That thing is clean. Oh yeah.
All right, let's pick this piece up. You can see right here, this is exactly what I want. Exactly how I want it to be. Now I can move on to actually cutting the walnut. And so that's what we're doing here. And I gotta admit, I think I had my depth of cut and the speed a little high on this for this first clearing path, but The bit handled it, the CNC handled it, and we made it through cutting this thing without breaking a bit or messing up the workpiece. Now we're using that 1/2 inch ball nose bit again, and this 1/2 inch ball nose is from Bits and Bits, and it is a 1/2 inch by 6 inch long ball nose bit with a 3 inch cutting depth. So I bought this bit because I want to do more 3D carvings, and I knew that I would need the longer bits to be able to cut into deeper pieces without the CNC actually hitting the workpiece. So that is the reason why I got such a long bit for what seems to be only 1.5 inch thick piece of material. But I wanted to plan for future projects and be able to use this long bit on other things outside of just the bottom of tabletops. So I'll try to make sure that I leave a link down in the comments below for you guys to be able to get this exact bit that I'm using. This thing is so flawless. Like it cuts so cleanly that I couldn't even tell that there was ridges in there. It looked like it was almost finished ready. Just the cleanness of the cut. And this is one of these spectra coated bits, I believe. And man, does it leave a crispy, clean cut. I thought the foam was cut clean, but the walnut cut even cleaner than the foam. Like, it left almost no ridges. And so now I am done cutting this thing. We are successful, and this thing turned out to be amazing. Like, I can't believe that this thing came out so clean. So, like, this thing came out cleaner than I thought I was gonna have to, like, sand down ridges or something like that, like, and take some time and use the Rotex and sand out all of the CNC machining marks, but I didn't. Like, it left a really, really clean finish, and I want to show you in this next build. Now we got some Rubio Monocoat on it. Woo! That thing looks so good. Now I did sand it because I had to sand it for the profile, but it came out so good. Hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below.